Praise the Lord, everyone. Brother Roop here. We are starting chapter 13 in the book of Acts. Um, that's an important division of the book of Acts. It's the third major division, the last division of the book of Acts. Uh, it starts 13 and ends with the end the book. The onset, it's the church is pretty much exclusively Jewish. You got some Gentiles now mixing in, but it's basically dominated by the Jews. It was still more of a Hebrew movement at this time. This first phase was completely Jewish, 100% Jewish. It was a Jewish movement within the Judaism religion. The second phase was the Hellenists or Greek Jews. They introduced far-reaching ideas and extended the gospel to the Samaritans and the God-fearing Greeks. In the last phase, which we're beginning now, the gospel is carried directly to the Gentiles. 100% Gentiles are pagans, as the Jews and Romans call them. After a bitter struggle to free itself, to free the gospel to everybody, and they finally did it, but it came at a tremendous cost. The cost was the self-exclusion of the Jews. When the gospel reached the Gentiles in a big way, and a lot of the Jews pulled out and rejected the gospel and remained with Judaism. They just couldn't leave Judaism. They were born and raised in Judaism, and they just couldn't leave it, even though they might have thought Jesus Christ was the Messiah. They just couldn't leave it. At the very beginning, I guess the first division of the book of Acts, or the early history of the church, is chapter 1 through chapter 6. The Christian movement was centered in Jerusalem. It was Jewish in character. The Jews dominated the movement, and they thought it was something that could have its development within the framework of Judaism. They were at home in the temple and the synagogue. They all continued to live as Jews and were viewed as a sect of Judaism by all the other Jews. And the 12 apostles were recognized as leaders and gave little evidence of a vision beyond the kingdom restored to Israel. That's basically what they thought they were all about. The second major phase of the book of Acts in church history is chapter 6 through beginning of chapter 13, where we're at. So it was introduced by Hellenists, or Greek Jews, like Stephen and Philip. Those are two good examples of that. Those were followed by unnamed men from Cyprus and Ceylon, Saul, and others, who set a pattern and blazed new trails with Christianity. The Jews and the 12 apostles were judging and adjusting. So they had a little break-in period, and that's okay. That's fine. I probably would too if I were them. So and so that the gospel expanded to the Samaritans and Cornelius and God-fearers and a few non-Jews. The final phase is chapter 13 through 28, which is the end of the book of Acts. And we're still in the final phase, actually. That's where the center of Christianity leaves Jerusalem and its centers now in Antioch. Remember, we had that big revival in Antioch, um, and they called Christian evangelists from everywhere to help teach the people because so many people converted to Antioch. And folks came from Africa, and Saul came, and a lot of other people came to teach. Because once people are converted, you got to teach them the new religion, teach them the ways of the Spirit and ways of God and things like that. And so that's exactly what happened. And this final phase, Antioch is going to be the new center of Christianity, a new religion. Right now, it's going to be a mixture of Jews and Gentiles. And that's what the church in Antioch was, a mixture of Jews and Gentiles. And this new phase is very exciting. No longer is it going to be a Jewish sect, but Christianity will be its own religion, and it's going to spread throughout the Roman Empire. In fact, it already has. There's already a church in Rome at this point. And there's already churches in Greece and in Africa, and it's already spreading. It's just the folks in Jerusalem just haven't really caught on to that yet, and but they will. And a lot of Jews will reject it, and it's kind of sad, but that's what happened. So we're going to start the final phase. It's chapter 13 to chapter 28, the end of the book. That's the final phase of early church history that Luke wrote down for us. And it's going to be exciting. And the book of Acts is still going on today. So strap in your seatbelts, hang on, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell, and whenever I make a new video, you'll get it. And thank you very much.